Right, okay, so when you're off-tanking in Hellra, there is actually like a quicker strategy for off-tanking Hellra. And basically an easier strategy overall. So the strategy is that you just burn the boss in the middle of the platform, and then the off-tank gets aggro of all the gargoyles and runs them away from the group so they can focus on the damage on the main boss. Now, there is a way to make them aggro onto the off-tank every single time. And you've got to find the sweet spot where you don't get knocked back and you can get soft aggro of the gargoyles. Because when your group all gets knocked back and you don't, you can gain soft aggro of the ads. So what you have to do is you will always be stacked here for the fight. This can be done in even low damage groups. I've done this in some low damage groups, in some high damage groups. It'll work for a lot of groups. So even if you don't have the highest DPS, you can still use this strategy to clear this trial faster without breaking all the gargoyle statues. So when you kind of get to 40%, well, it'll depend on your damage, but what you want to do is you want to taunt the first gargoyle that spawns in. You're always going to get the first gargoyle. So you're going to taunt the first gargoyle, and then you take it to a platform. So if you look where I am now, so there's the middle of the room. It's not this first circle, it's the second circle. So the second circle back from the boss. So the boss is going to be in the middle of the platform over there. You're going to come to the middle of this circle here. You're going to have taunt of the gargoyle. And it's probably a good idea to tab target that as well. Now what you want to do is to play it extra safe. I don't think this actually makes a difference, but you can use an immovable potion. So as soon as the boss teleports to the middle to break the room, so you hear the sound going at 35%, there's a sound that starts ticking away, and then there's an explosion. When that happens, you can pop an immovable potion just to make sure. The immovable potion doesn't stop you from being knocked back though, so I don't think it actually makes a difference. But the thing that's important is you've got taunt of the gargoyle, and then as soon as the room explodes, the second that you can see your group members stunned, so you're always looking over in that direction. Your group members get stunned. As soon as they're stunned, you sprint at the group. You sprint to the group, and all the gargoyles will turn, look at you, and follow you straight away. What you want to do then is obviously keep taunt of that one gargoyle that you had, and you just run them down the side of the room so that they all kind of stack up. And then you just run around in circles. You just run around in circles in between these four pillars. You can do a figure of 8 around them, and you can just run around. You don't need to taunt any of the gargoyles. You can maybe put a bit of soft aggro down by putting a blockade down, and you want to keep taunt of your one gargoyle that you had from the very start, from when that came in, and you just figure of 8 around there. What you do need to be careful of is you don't want to go to here. If you come too close to this door, they will run off. They will de-aggro because you have become inactive. When you stand in this area of the room, this basically despawns the boss if you've got aggro of the boss. If you come here with the gargoyles will just run away because you will no longer be part of the active fight. So they will run back to the group and you will cause a big problem. So just to show you the footage of this in action, I've tested this a number of times actually today. So I've done 2 runs of Hellra today. We did a test run of this strategy earlier on, and we practiced it a couple of times to make sure it worked. I've just come in again and we've done a full clear where I got the gargoyles and just ran around. So we'll play the footage now of that. So we'll speed it up a little bit. So as you can see, we're at 47%. There's a gargoyle about to spawn in. There's the gargoyle. It's spawned in. I've got taunt. I stayed in group a little bit longer because I didn't want to go too soon. You need to make sure you move fast away from the boss as well, because the boss will jump to you if you don't move fast enough, and then that's a problem. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm keeping the gargoyle away from that middle platform because I don't want it to stand in the middle platform and ground stomp during the explosion. So I'm holding it in the water so that it doesn't ground stomp. Now we're getting to 36%. 35% is coming. Here we go. I use my movable potion. The room explodes. There I go. I sprint to the middle. All of the gargoyles, they turn around. There they are. They're all aggroed. They're all aggroed. I keep in taunt of the original gargoyle that I had. And I run down the side wall to make them all stack close together. And now you can see they're kind of all stacked together. And it's just a case of figuring eighting around the room now and trying not to get hit. If you get hit, they do hit pretty hard. So you have to just be careful of that. And it's just running around in circles from this point. There isn't really anything else required. I just keep taunting this one gargoyle. I do keep putting down a blockade, just as kind of a soft aggro. Just to make sure that they're kind of only being damaged by me and they follow me around. And that's pretty much it. They just keep following and we get to the end of the fight. And I keep taunting that one, just the one gargoyle, the original one that I'd got. And they never lose aggro, they never run away. And that's it. I even ran a little bit closer to the group there. So all of these pillars pretty much are okay. Like, I was a little bit closer there. You don't want to go too much closer. If you go too close to the group, the main boss will jump to you. And then that is a problem. You don't want the main boss to ever jump onto you. And there it is. And that's it, guys.